When I was a kid, I used to replay through the first hour or so of the original Pokemon games, just for fun. But I would get frustrated any time I lost the first rival battle. It seemed like no matter what I did, there wasn't a guaranteed path to victory. With modern Nuzlocke challenges, the problem still lingers. In fact, many Nuzlockers don't even count the first rival battle, because the loss is seemingly up to chance. But that never sat right with me. When you look up information on which starter or strategy is most likely to be victorious, the internet is full of misinformation, stating that each starter has basically the same chance, or that there really isn't any strategy to it. These posts are flat out wrong. I always felt surprised that I couldn't find a definitive answer. But I guess that makes sense. It's not like anyone is going to be insane enough to play through 5,000 rival battles just to get statistically significant data involving a 60-second battle in a game that was released more than 25 years ago. So anyway, I played through 5,000 battles. Let's talk about what I found. I started by running one battle at a time, but I quickly realized I would never finish at this rate. So I tried using emulators to play 18 battles at once. I remember seeing Shiny Hunters do similar things, so why not me? This worked for a time, but it was still too slow. So eventually I figured, why not go bigger? I could easily fit a grid of 7x7 emulators on my screen at once for a total of 49 battles. I actually could have squeezed 70 emulators on the screen with slight overlap, but that's when my computer really started lagging. So I stuck with 49. Then I would do multiple sets of these until I completed at least 300 battles. I tested each starter to see who was truly the best. I started with Charmander and only used the attacking move Scratch. He actually did pretty well. He won 83% of his battles, but I couldn't help but wonder if I was using the best strategy. I read a post that said using 1 or 2 growls might give you better results, but there are also many players that are adamant they would never use a status move. So I ran 300 more Charmander battles, and this time he won a shocking 96.3% of the time. So surprise, surprise, the status move did increase my chances by a significant margin. Just to be safe, I ran 300 more battles using 2 growls, and the results dropped slightly to 93.6%. A quick side note, occasionally the sprites for the Pokemon would totally glitch out. This seemed to be the result of multiple games being run at the same time, and I did hundreds of extra battles just to make sure this was only a visual glitch and was not affecting my data in any way. So Charmander did pretty well, but could Squirtle do even better? Kinda. Squirtle won about 86% of the battles when he just attacked, and 93% when he growled once. But this reached an amazing 96.7% when he growled twice. I suspect the reason Squirtle was able to do better with a second growl is because his defense allowed him to tank more hits. It's worth mentioning, while there is a statistically significant difference showing that using at least one status move is the superior strategy to attacking, there was not a significant difference between Charmander's and Squirtle's best results. So they are virtually tied. So next up was Bulbasaur. Most of the earliest video game guides for Red and Blue recommended using Bulbasaur since he has the easiest time in the early gym battles. But when it comes to the first rival battle, it actually has several things working against it. Charmander typically has better attack and speed, and Bulbasaur is attacking with Tackle, which has a 5% chance of missing, while Charmander's Scratch has a 100% success rate. Lastly, Scratch has 5 more base power than Tackle. This means Charmander should be hitting harder and more often. So you might not be surprised to hear that Bulbasaur is complete garbage. Bulbasaur only won 41.7% of the time when he was using Tackle only, which went up to barely above 50% when he growled once. And Bulbasaur's best performance was when he used Growl twice. This resulted in a 64.7% success rate, which was still worse than any of the strategies used by the other 2 starters. For the record, I did a few hundred battles with the starters using a 3rd Growl, but it quickly became obvious that the benefit of using Growl was lost by that point. Now I'm sure some of you are wondering, what about the 4th starter? And so I did 1,000 battles with Pikachu as well. This required loading Pokemon Yellow, and I honestly didn't know what to expect. Side note, Pokemon Yellow seemed to slow down my computer a lot more than Red or Blue, so I ended up closing a few of the emulators and the problem went away. The Pikachu battles were a lot shorter because both Pikachu and Eevee have stab moves. I witnessed a few battles end in only 3 rounds. Overall, Pikachu did worse than Squirtle or Charmander, but it was better than Bulbasaur. Pikachu won 76.3% of the battles when just attacking, 81.7% after using 1 growl, and 76% after using 2 growls. I will save you the tedious math, but I did run statistical tests, and the evidence strongly shows that Squirtle and Charmander have the highest chance of winning the first rival battle, followed by Pikachu and finally Bulbasaur. It also showed that growling or using Tail Whip at least once is always going to improve your chances. Personally, I would recommend using 2 status moves with Bulbasaur and Squirtle. I wanted to try this challenge with the rest of the 151 to see how they would perform, but doing so would probably take me months to finish. So I will be releasing a daily video short to incentivize me to keep working towards this large goal, where I perform 1 Pokemon at a time. After the starters, I'm going to start testing other first form Pokemon to see which one is the most successful. I finished a few already, and you may be surprised. I also plan on releasing longer weekly Pokemon challenge videos for the rest of the summer with an occasional live stream thrown in. So please make sure to like and subscribe to this video if you want to see more. And if you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching.